Appreciate the time, and as we're here with development camp, it's kind of a nice taste for these players to get an idea of what being around the Sharks is like. I mean, it's kind of more like, here's how professionals do it. And they've been exposed to that a little bit, but this is really an observation for them.
Yeah, it's a big learning process for them. Learning how to train off the ice, how to train on the ice, how to proper nutrition, sports psychology, all the things that we flood them with information. And I want every player to walk away with something tangible that they can take with them. We don't teach systems, we teach concepts. And what I mean by that is, for a forward, how to take a puck around the boards, or how to, improve your one-timer, or defenseman going back and shoulder checking to break the puck out. Those are things that they can implement into their game wherever they play, whether it's here in San Jose or it's in the CHL, in Europe, or in college. So it's a big learning experience for all these players.
They're obviously young, but they've played high levels of hockey up to this point. Are they still very coachable?
They better be.
What does coachable mean also, by the way?
Well, I mean, I think it's listening to what we have to say. I mean, I look at our staff, and I think Joe Will added up one time, and the amount of NHL games played that are going to be on the ice or around this camp is ridiculous. Yeah. It's unbelievable. So it's well over 13,000 games, and so why wouldn't you listen to those players? Why wouldn't you listen to Joe Thornton? Why wouldn't you listen to Pat Marlowe? Why wouldn't you listen to Lucas Spies or Tommy Wingles or John McCarthy? Like, these are people that have played a long time. And if I had that opportunity to listen to somebody that had played a long time in the NHL, I would have loved it, because you're always learning. I mean, I'm constantly learning how to deal with players and to, teach things. So once you stop learning, it's the end of the road.
Their desires here are obvious. They want to make it to the NHL as fast as possible, or to get to the next step as fast as possible. How do you as a staff and as coaches understand that, but also help them do it the right way?
And there's no two development paths that are same. There's only so many Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosbys of the world. Yeah. There's bumps in the road, and how do we deal with those bumps? Are we going to say that I can't get past it, or how can I get around it? And I think that's going back to what being coachable is all about. Mm-hmm. Hockey is a game of mistakes. You know what? The team that makes less mistakes usually wins the game, and same goes for players. So we're here to just encourage them, to help them both mentally and physically become the player they can be.
This is a little bit for habits, like we said, in learning the organization and learning how to be a pro, but are you also watching them just a little bit to see where the skill sets are at? We are also in the middle of summer too, so it'd be hard to compare them to, like, they haven't played a game in weeks or months, they haven't had a practice in weeks or months. How do you look at them as players also right now?
I think for our staff, there's very little, if no, evaluation. It's more about familiarity. Like, we have a draft class now of players that, some of the players we've seen. I'll take Michael Misa. We saw him play a lot this year because Igor Chernyshov was on the same team. Yeah. So we have a familiarity with the player, but there's other players that maybe we haven't seen. Mm-hmm. Our amateur guys have, but maybe we haven't. So now it's about, okay, this is what the player type is. This is what he does well. This is what he needs to work on. And then we implement that into, our knowledge of the player. So I think that I look at this as just all learning experience for them, but also for us as to who they are.
Landon Marlo is here. That's a pretty cool thing, but it's also like a legit opportunity and chance for him. He's no different than anybody else here at development camp.
We don't treat anybody, whether you're a first-round pick, an invite, it doesn't matter. Everyone's treated the same. And again, for someone like him, it's about learning what he needs to, rubbing shoulders with a Michael Misa or a Sam Dickinson and saying, oh, this is what I have to get better at. And I think those experiences are vital in a young player's development, because if they never get to see it, they'll never know. Yeah. And it's no different than a player that gets called up from the American League to the NHL. Until they get into that environment, they never know. They never know what it takes. And then all of a sudden, maybe they go back to the American League. It's like, okay, I have to work. I have to do this faster. I have to get stronger. I've got to do this better in order to play into the next level.
Last thing, when I was running through the roster and the list of players that are going to be here, but then I also think about the other group of players, like Cagnoni, just on and on down the list, who aren't here but are also part of the organization. I'm starting to look at this pipeline, this organization, and think how stacked it is. This is not a question from me to you. I guess that's my comment. There's a pretty stacked group here. How do you feel about that?
we're really excited. I mean, coming in here 3 years ago, and again, no disrespect to the people before, but it was like that team kept going for it every year. They wanted to win the Stanley. Not that we don't want to win the Stanley Cup, but we had to change things in order to get there. And now you see the depth and the amount of talent that we have in the prospect pool, and that puts a little bit. I like it. It's a little bit pressure on us to help these players develop and get better, and it's exciting. It really is, because the best thing for us as development guys is to see a player drafted, watch them play in college or junior in Europe, sign a contract, play in the American League, and then get to the NHL. It's like one of your own kids making it in something they really wanted from when they were kids, and we play a very small part in that, but it's very rewarding, and that's why I've been doing this for 15 years, and I love that part. I got to see Cags play an NHL game this year. I was just so happy for him. I gave him a hug after the game. I was like so happy that he was able to do that, and it's really a rewarding experience.
I could have gone on and on with that list, or Graf, or Cam Lund, or Naskey. I mean, there's so many players, not to mention Mac and Will, but they're already established. It's just such a talented group, and obviously appreciate your time, and best of luck this week. Take it easy on them.
I'll try. Thank you.